The crowds leave and winter strips Cornwall back to its raw, untamed self. Silence here is the waves and wind roaring together, relentless, inextricable. Empty beaches reflected in flood puddles, and rock silhouettes in the mizzle and mist. Rain lashing and sand stinging, mud and damp and slate and moss, and a hostile, beautiful, rugged land. Cornwall is a land steeped in legends and ghost stories, a place that has inspired countless writers, artists and creative minds, and no doubt stirs the imagination of all who wander here. Among the most enduring tales is that of King Arthur at Tintagel, a site tied to Arthurian legend for centuries, where the rugged cliffs and wild sea seem to whisper of Merlin's magic and the birth of a king. Before heading up to the castle, I began by looking out over Merlin's Cave, a sea tunnel that can be walked through at low tide. Although Tintagel has been linked to King Arthur since the medieval period, the cave itself became closely associated with Merlin during the Victorian era, when poets such as Alfred Lord Tennyson helped revive and romanticise Arthurian legend, casting Tintagel as a place of magic and myth. To reach the ruins of Tintagel Castle, visitors must cross the gap between the mainland and the rocky island beyond. The island that the castle ruins are on did actually used to be connected by land until it eroded away, and now a footbridge has been built. But before that, you had to access it by walking all the way down the steps one side and then back up the other. Once on the island, the ruins of Tintagel Castle spread out across the cliff top, their walls and foundations tracing the outline of what was once a formidable stronghold. The castle was built in the early 13th century by Richard, Earl of Cornwall. By that time, Tintagel was already deeply connected to the legend of King Arthur, and Richard deliberately embraced that mythology, choosing this dramatic location as much for its symbolic power as for its defensive strength. Today what remains is a patchwork of ruined halls, courtyards and defensive walls, shaped as much by time and weather as by history itself. Near the highest point of the island stands the remains of a small chapel, originally built in the 13th century. Let me read you what some of the chapel sign says. In the driving rain, the weary priest makes his way to the chapel, as he has done every day for years. Today, in November 1361, he resolves that he won't spend another winter on this lonely, windswept headland. Beyond history and legend, this rugged coastline is teeming with life that's specifically adapted to cliff, sea and grassland. Maritime plants such as rock sea lavender, golden samphire and autumn squill bloom in pockets of soil on the cliff tops, some of them nationally scarce species protected within the habitat here. The cliffs provide nesting sites for coastal birds like fulmar and herring gulls, and you may also spot cormorant, stonechat and linnet along the cliff edges or perched on the rocks. Look out to sea and you might see grey seals swimming. The waters here support a variety of marine life. Speaking of wildlife, there is a bird closely associated with King Arthur, the red-billed chough, a glossy black corvid with bright red legs and bill. Cornish legend says that when Arthur died in battle, his spirit was transformed into a red-billed chough. The bird's red bill and legs symbolising the blood he shed and his enduring connection to the land. High above the crashing waves stands a ghostly stranger, a bronze figure emerging from sea and sky, named Galos, meaning power in Cornish. Perhaps it is Arthur, or no one, or everyone. History rising from Tintagel, a presence shaped by myth and time. It is the Gemini meteor shower this evening. Actually, tomorrow night and the night after are supposed to be stronger for the shower, but the weather isn't looking too good. It looks like it will be cloudy, windy, rainy the next couple of evenings here in Cornwall. So tonight, a very cold, clear night, might be the best opportunity to potentially see the meteor shower. I haven't seen a meteor shower before, ever, so I'm really looking forward to potentially seeing this one. I'm also going to try to film it for you. I haven't really done any filming of the stars before in the night sky, and certainly not of a meteor shower, so it will be interesting to see how the footage turns out. Also, I can't go to a dark sky area, unfortunately, so I will be attempting this from my back garden, and of course there is going to be some light pollution that interferes with me seeing the meteors and also filming them. But let's give it a go. I'm actually going to wait until midnight before I go out, because I think the best time is sort of between midnight and 2 a.m. So I thought I would go and sit outside at that time with my cameras and try to film it then. I'm going to be using my Lumix G85, which is my main camera, and also my GoPro 13 Black, which I will be using on a kind of night lapse mode. So we'll see how both of those go, and I will of course show you the footage. I also wanted to show you this book that I have that I'm going to use tonight to help me to actually find Gemini, so I can point the camera in the right direction. I'm just filming this bit on my phone. I have this book and it has a glow-in-the-dark night sky viewer. Now, I'm supposed to be looking in the direction of Gemini to see this meteor shower. So I was having a look through the book and I found the glow-in-the-dark part, which is this, and excuse the light. Thankfully, Gemini is on here. It is number 10. I've just moved the book so that I can shine my lamp onto it. It shows how to actually find Gemini. I think a lot of people can find Orion's belt. So the idea is to find the belt and then from there, find a bluish star just below the belt. Then find a red star just above the belt. So it's a line from the blue star through the belt to the red star. Continue tracing that line to reach the next bright star, which is the foot of the twin Pollux. And then you find Gemini, and you can see the shape of that constellation. And here is a picture of the twins Castor and Pollux. So that is what I'm going to be doing, and how helpful is this book? It's almost midnight, so let's go and get set up in the garden. Every December, the night sky fills with the Geminid meteor shower. I'm going to turn this lantern off in a second and let my eyes adjust to the night sky. This is the first year that I've actively sat outside to watch it, and I want to give a huge thank you to the lovely community member Jenna for letting me know about it and encouraging me to really pay attention to the incredible beauty of our night sky. So my camera footage didn't turn out as well as I had hoped, despite a lot of research into the best settings for night sky videography. I think possibly photographing would have been a better approach, and the light pollution didn't really help either. But I was pretty excited to see about 10 meteors while I was watching the sky, and to see I'd caught some of them on the GoPro footage. I filmed whilst I was in the garden, and then I left it filming in a different location when I went to sleep. I'll show you the footage slowed down so you can see the meteors in case you missed them. Good evening. I am going to go to a Cornwall dark skies area for the very first time this evening. I have been waiting for a nice clear cold night to head over to a dark skies area and see what it's like stargazing there. I've just been packing the car. I'm bringing a chair so that I can sit back, and also various blankets, my Starfinder book, and of course my camera equipment. I'm hoping to get there for about 10 p.m. and I'll stay for maybe a couple of hours. It is 0 degrees. I am set up at Colliford Lake. The car is just behind me, and in front of me I've got my GoPro on night lapse mode and my camera. I'm going to try again to get some decent footage with my main camera. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but the main thing is I'm going to turn off the light, stop looking at screens, and give my eyes 20 minutes to adjust to the sky and enjoy stargazing. I left my GoPro recording whilst I stargazed, and this is the footage I got. I have lightened this a little bit, but you can see that there is less light pollution than there was when I recorded in the garden. Whilst here, I also identified Jupiter. It happened to be in Gemini, which was perfect as I knew how to find that. This is taken at 400mm on my G85, and whilst you can't see the banding on Jupiter, you can see some of its moons. So whilst it isn't the best footage, I was pretty happy to have seen it, which was another first for me. You can't see what's around me. There's a tree line behind me and my car is in front of me. It is absolutely freezing. There is frost on the ground. So I'm going to get back into the car and warm up and head home now. But I had an incredible evening stargazing. I learned a lot about some of the constellations. I was using my Starfinder book that I showed you the other evening. It was such a wonderful evening, and I was just thinking how much of a blessing it is to be able to sit in an area like this and look at the beauty of creation and the incredible night sky. So yeah, I'm gonna head home now because I'm really cold and the wind's quite icy as well. But thank you for joining me. From meteors to starlings, the winter sky in Cornwall is full of wonder. I have already featured the incredible starling murmuration in a couple of my videos this year, but I wanted to take the time to share more about the one I have been to see here in Cornwall, as well as some information about starlings. So I'm here now at Rough Tor and I've got my camera set up. I've just seen the first small flock of starlings fly in, so more and more will be arriving very soon. Yesterday when I was here, it was absolutely incredible because the starlings weren't just in the distance by those trees like they were the time I came before. They actually flew directly towards where I was standing, and they were moving in their formation, sort of coming close together and then bursting out and flying all around me, literally right past me, overhead. It was absolutely incredible. There were hundreds and hundreds of them, and it felt like I was just in the sky with them at one point because they were surrounding me. It was just one of the most amazing wildlife encounters that I have ever had. This year I went 3 times to see the incredible starling murmuration at Rough Tor on Bodmin Moor, and each time it was absolutely breathtaking. Rough Tor is one of the highest tors on Bodmin Moor in Cornwall, rising over 400 metres above the sea. It's an ancient wild moorland of rocky outcrops, peat bogs and rolling hills, with views that stretch for miles. Every winter at Rough Tor, huge flocks of European starlings gather each evening before dusk to form murmurations. Swirling dynamic groups of birds numbering in the tens of thousands, sometimes larger, that move together in an almost unbelievable coordinated flight. This happens because starlings are physically and neurologically designed to fly in perfect synchrony. Each bird constantly adjusts its speed and direction by responding to the movements of a small number of nearby neighbours, allowing information to pass rapidly through the flock. Each starling reacts to neighbours in just a fraction of a second, faster than a human can blink. This self-organising collective behaviour helps reduce individual predation risk by confusing predators, maybe aids in sharing information about feeding areas, and provides thermal benefits as birds gather before settling to roost. As I said on one of my visits this past season, the starlings didn't just fly across the moors, they completely surrounded me in a moment of flight so immersive and overwhelming that I shall never forget it. Who needs fireworks when we have the yearly starling murmurations? So it is time to open up the blue tit nest box from last spring and clean it out ahead of this coming spring. I actually should have done this in the autumn, but definitely need to do it before next spring. I'm really interested to see what it looks like, and I thought that you might be as well. So let's go and open it up and have a look. If you saw the Nest Box live stream or video documentary, you will know that this is where Cuvier and Blue Peter chose to build their nest and raise their family. The nest has flattened quite a bit over time, but I thought it was fascinating to look at. You can see the nest cup, which was a lot deeper than it looks now, and the incredible amount of time and effort that went into building this intricate creation. And all of the different materials. The underside shows just how much fur they used, as well as moss, a lot of which has dried and crumbled now. Of course, pet fur shouldn't be put out for birds if any chemical treatments are used for fleas or similar, as the chemicals have been shown to be extremely harmful to wildlife and to kill birds and chicks. But untreated fur like this is not toxic. Cuvier built the nest with fir, moss, twigs, and here where I have ripped into it, you can see just how cleverly she wove it together. A year ago today, on the 1st of January 2025, I posted a video where I did some winter wildlife watching, beach combing and art. And I reflected on the year and on this channel. It was the end of 2023 when I started uploading properly on the channel. So it has now been 2 years. And I have some news. As of the end of November just gone, I was accepted to the YouTube Partner Program, which I am so happy about and grateful for, as this all contributes to the wider mission for this channel. I have been incredibly blessed with the wonderful wildlife I have been seeing, and with you, the lovely community who, like me, love and appreciate wildlife. And I wanted to say a massive thank you to you for all of your engagement and encouragement. It really means the world to me. And I really hope that I can continue to make videos that you enjoy watching. I have so many plans for this channel and community, but for now I just want to appreciate what has happened so far. The wildlife experiences, the conversations with you, and the many moments and discoveries that I have made about wildlife and this beautiful creation. Again, thank you very much, and a happy new year.